Hey, let's talk today a little bit about transparency and leadership. What's the fuss, right? Why does a leader need to be transparent? Isn't he or she already in charge and make the decisions? Does he or she actually need to share the reasons behind their actions and decisions? So what is transparency when we're talking about leadership? Transparency means keeping your employees, your team informed, sharing the good and the bad while not oversharing, and welcoming honest feedback from the members of your team. What is it not? It's not absolute, all or nothing. It's not completely open, and it's obviously not completely secretive. So why is it important? It is important as leaders to be transparent, but there's a right way to do it. It is important because it builds trust. We cannot lead effectively if we don't have trust within our team and our organization. If your people think you're hiding something or not telling the truth, they might be hesitant to completely trust you. Transparency in leadership is one of the core building blocks of building trust within a team. It helps earn buy-in, create connections, and foster collaboration. According to the American Psychological Association, only 52% of workers believe their employer is open and upfront with them. Transparency also calms anxieties. If there's an openness about what's going on, particularly around change, people won't be as worried about what's not going on. And ultimately, people want to relate and connect with each other. Transparency and trust are vital to making this happen. Simon Sinek says, "A team is not a group of people who work together. A team is a group of people who trust each other." So when is transparency important? This is an interesting one, right? Craig Groeschel says, "Telling the truth means what you say is always true, but it doesn't mean everything true needs to be said." So you start with always tell the truth. Now, you can balance and earn trust with transparency. The less trust you have, the more transparency you need. But sometimes it's just not appropriate. And what do I mean by that? Well, sometimes it's just the wrong time to say something. It might have something to do with a planned reveal. It might be privileged information. It might be something told to you in confidence, or it might be the wrong time for the hearer to hear it. If you're frustrated or angry about something, venting during a meeting would be transparent, but not wise. So your frame of mind matters. And think about the hearer, the listener. Not everyone needs to know everything. So how does transparency help? What are the benefits? When you have transparency from your leadership, you enjoy greater employee advocacy. And if leaders are more personally engaged with their employees, with transparency, it will build trust and grow loyalty throughout the organization. Your employees will work more effectively, enhancing performance. Problems will be solved faster without the need to gather additional information. By being open and telling the truth, even when it's difficult, you will build trust. By being clear about goals, feedback, the future vision, and how team members can help achieve them, it will keep everyone on the same page, working effectively, happily, and efficiently. When there's transparency on a team, it leads to mutual trust, collaboration, and willingness to follow best practices. Employee engagement and job satisfaction go right up. And ultimately, authentic relationships are built. Transparency helps to unify relationships. So how do we get there? How do we actually achieve transparency? Well, achieving it requires intentional effort. You have to be willing to have hard conversations and display vulnerability. And you have to be able to communicate clearly. You have to be able to clearly communicate goals and expectations. And if everyone is clear on these things, there will be far less confusion, second guessing, misguided effort, and worst of all, rumors. When a decision is made, you need to be able to explain it and do so in a way that is both honest and respectful of the opposing viewpoints. Even when the conversation gets tough, you need to be willing to have it. You have to trust your team, encourage honest feedback, and welcome it from others. Be open about failure, particularly your own. Everyone messes up from time to time, and how you handle those mistakes is key to the relationships among your team and that trust we've harped on. People relate better to a leader who is real. Convey your vision. Share that vision with your team. If you are excited about it and you have a culture of trust and transparency, they'll be excited with you. Transparency alone cannot create trust, but it is a major factor in building trust. Be transparent at the right time, in the right way, to the right people. I hope this was helpful.